It was supposed to be just another night of spirited debate, the kind of charged, fast-talking spectacle that kept audiences glued to their screens. The cameras rolled, the stage lights burned hot, and both the studio audience and viewers at home braced for another round of verbal fireworks. Elliot Graves, the controversial yet captivating host, had made a career out of being bold, unfiltered, and unapologetic. He wasn't just another pundit. He was a force, a man who didn't just challenge his guests, but dissected their arguments with razor-sharp precision. His words, as sharp as glass, cut through political spin like a surgeon's scalpel. Love him or hate him, you watched. That night started off like any other. Topic: corporate influence in politics. An evergreen discussion guaranteed to stir the pot. Seated under the bright studio lights, Graves was joined by two guests: Brian Colton, a seasoned political strategist, and Madison Rourke, a conservative commentator unafraid to go toe-to-toe with him. The polished wooden desk between them gleamed under the cameras as the conversation unfolded. Graves leaned in, his tone laced with skepticism. "Pam Bondi. Let's talk about her," he began, his voice carrying the weight of impending controversy. "She spent her entire career serving the powerful, prosecuting the powerless, and then, surprise, she lands a job with, who else? Donald Trump. Tell me, Brian, if that's not a perfect example of political favoritism, then what is?" Colton adjusted his tie, clearly prepared for the attack. "Elliot, you're framing this all wrong," he countered. "Bondi's career is built on her legal expertise. She was Attorney General for 8 years, highly respected." Elliot scoffed. "Respected by who? Corporate donors?" The audience chuckled. Madison, arms crossed, had been waiting for this moment. "Elliot, you love playing the moral compass of America, but let's be real. You pick and choose your villains. Why is it corrupt when Bondi does it, but not when—" And then it happened. Elliot, caught in the heat of the argument, smirked and delivered the words that would cost him everything. "Pam Bondi? Please, she's been selling herself to the highest bidder for years." The air in the studio shifted. Silence, thick and suffocating, stretched just a second too long. Even Elliot, a man who thrived on controversy, seemed to realize that this time he had crossed a line. Madison's face tightened. Brian Colton leaned back in his chair, his expression unreadable. "Excuse me!" Madison's voice was sharp, ice cold. "Did you just say what I think you said?" Elliot, always quick on his feet, tried to backtrack without actually apologizing. "I'm talking about her career, Madison. The way she's played the system, the way she's cozied up to powerful men. That was disgusting," Madison cut him off. "Say what you want about her politics, but implying she's—" "Oh, come on," Elliot waved her off. "You know exactly what I meant." But the damage was done. The control room knew it. The producers whispering into earpieces knew it. And most importantly, the internet knew it. By the time the segment wrapped, clips were already circulating. Twitter turned into a battlefield. Some labeled it blatant misogyny. Others argued Elliot had merely spoken the harsh, unfiltered truth about power and influence. The network executives, however, didn't wait for the dust to settle. Backstage, Elliot had barely stepped away from his chair when a producer grabbed his arm. "Boss wants to see you. Now." He exhaled sharply, ran a hand through his salt and pepper hair, and followed. He'd been in the business long enough to recognize the signs. When the higher-ups demanded an immediate meeting, it was never good news. But this time, this felt different. He just didn't know how bad it would get. Elliot Graves had always thrived in controversy. He understood the game, pushed the boundaries, ride the outrage, watch the ratings climb. But the energy in the room as he was led down the hallway was tighter than usual. He passed camera operators packing up their gear, interns avoiding eye contact. When he reached the executive suite, the door was already open. Inside, James Halpern, the network's VP of programming, sat behind a sleek glass desk, arms crossed. Next to him, Mara Lynn, the head of PR, scrolled through her phone with an expression Elliot had seen before. Damage control mode. The moment he stepped in, James didn't even look up. "Close the door." Elliot let out a dry chuckle. "No small talk? No great show tonight?" James finally met his eyes, but there was no amusement behind them. "Do you have any idea what's happening online right now?" Mara turned her screen toward him. A Twitter thread, 50,000 retweets in under an hour, captured his exact words, followed by an avalanche of angry responses. Headlines were already rolling in. Primetime host crosses the line. Network silent Elliot Graves' ugly smear. Too far this time? Pam Bondi controversy. Will the network cave? Elliot let out a sharp exhale. All right, not great. But let's be real. This will blow over. It always does. James shook his head. "No, Elliot. This is different." Mara leaned forward. "You accused a woman who, like it or not, has a lot of allies of selling herself. Do you realize how that sounds?" "Oh, come on," Elliot scoffed. "I was talking about politics. Everyone knows that. It's just people looking for something to be offended by." Mara tilted her head. "Even if that's true, it doesn't matter. The narrative is already out there. People aren't just mad, they're demanding action." Elliot rolled his eyes. "Let me go on air tomorrow. I'll clarify. I'll reframe it. Hell, I'll even say I misspoke." "No." James's voice was firm. "That won't cut it. We're already getting pressure from advertisers. 3 major sponsors are threatening to pull out. The board is on high alert." Elliot's jaw tightened. "So that's it? You're gonna cave?" James exhaled. "We haven't decided anything. But you need to understand, we're in a different climate now. There's no letting things blow over anymore." Mara slid a piece of paper across the desk. "Legal wants you to issue this statement before midnight. Apology. Full responsibility. The usual." Elliot scanned it, his frustration boiling over. It was the same sanitized PR nonsense he despised. "I deeply regret my choice of words. It was never my intention to offend." "This is pathetic," he muttered, pushing the paper back. "If I put this out, I might as well throw myself under the bus." Mara's tone was neutral but firm. "If you don't, the network might do it for you." And that was the moment Elliot realized just how bad this was. They weren't trying to weather the storm. They were looking for a way out. Still, he wasn't about to beg for mercy. He stood, adjusting his blazer. "I'm not apologizing for something I didn't do." James let out a tired sigh. "Then I hope you have a backup plan, Elliot." Elliot didn't answer. He just walked out. By morning, the decision wasn't his anymore. The network had made their move. His name was trending #1. Underneath it, #Fire Elliot Graves. It wasn't just backlash. It was a full-blown takedown.